If you travel this section of University Avenue West regularly, get used to the sight of construction. Lane restrictions and road closures will be a fact of life here right through the summer all the way into December. It's just one of the ongoing road projects in Windsor expected to affect traffic for months to come. The work on University Avenue West will involve 8 blocks from McEwen Avenue to Salter Avenue, which includes the Crawford Avenue intersection. The purpose is improvement of storm sewers, water mains, street lighting, and even the road surface. It's not the only city construction project that's going to have a significant impact on traffic routes. Starting April 1st, work will be happening on Howard Avenue and Division Road near the Devonshire Mall to overhaul the rail crossings. Lane restrictions are expected to be necessary for 7 months. The payoff will be permanently improved intersections. Meanwhile, the heavily used intersection of Walker Road and Tecumseh Road East will also have lane restrictions and no left turns until June. Enwin says digging up the road is necessary for water main rehabilitation. Work on this section of Lozon Road between Riverside Drive East and Wyandotte Street East will also force detours until June. The reason? Again, it's water main rehabilitation, according to the Windsor Utilities Commission. And that's just for starters. The city's summer construction schedule includes projects on Prince Road, Riverside Drive, Byng Road, Banwell at McNorton, and Lozon Parkway. The city's capital budget has allocated $83 million for all this work. That's not including road rehab and mill and pave jobs on specific road sections in each of the city's 10 wards. The city says every effort is being made to minimize traffic impacts, but drivers should expect delays. Dawson Chen, CBC News, Windsor.
And Colette, just as quickly as that nice weather kind of swept in a couple of days ago, and those construction cones weren't far behind.
Yeah, I know, right? Well, they're going to have a few things to contend with. Well, we all actually are, because we've got, now it's not a strong system, but we do have a system that's going to be moving in overnight tonight into tomorrow morning, but it's going to be the winds, I think, that you'll notice. So they'll become quite blustery and strong from the northwest, and the temperature will actually be falling through the day tomorrow. So stick with me on this. It's late overnight we get these rain showers developing. Winds will eventually, they'll be out of the southwest, but eventually towards about 4 or 5 a.m. turn to the northwest, gusting over 50 kilometers an hour. By then our temperature around 2 degrees. However, by tomorrow afternoon, after those showers roll through, maybe even the odd wet flurry, that temperature will fall to -2. However, we will get some clearing coming too in the afternoon. More on the weekend forecast coming up.
All right, thanks so much, Colette. We'll check in with you a little later. Well, layoffs at the Windsor Essex Children's Aid Society is putting kids at risk. That's what CUPE is saying, which represents those workers. 26 local CAS workers have been laid off. The union says that represents about 10% of their non-management positions. In addition, the CAS says, or the union rather, says its Leamington office will be closing at the end of the month. This is all happening as the local CAS is trying to deal with a $10 million deficit, according to the union. CUPE is calling for these cuts to be reversed and for the province to intervene with additional funding. The executive director of the Windsor Essex CAS said its deficit is because of the intensive resources needed to effectively support young people with specialized needs. Just 2 days ahead of an expected election call and after trips to Europe and Canada's north, Prime Minister Mark Carney held his first meeting with provincial and territorial premiers Friday. The main topic of discussion, strengthening the Canadian economy by eliminating interprovincial trade barriers.
Before this meeting even began, a rift appeared to widen between Alberta Premier Daniel Smith and Prime Minister Mark Carney. The two leaders met in Edmonton yesterday at Carney's request. And during this meeting, Smith made several demands of the federal government to improve access to Alberta's oil and gas sector, or else face a national unity crisis. Now, following this meeting with Smith, Carney suggested that he is open to moving away from the emissions cap that the federal government has in place on the oil and gas sector. But he appeared to be contradicted by his own Environment Minister, Terry Duguid, who said otherwise, leaving Smith confused and demanding a clarification.
We're just asking the question of the Prime Minister, is he prepared to lift this destructive and unconstitutional production cap or not? Albertans and Canadians do want the answer before they go to the polls and not after. In fact, we'd like to have the answer today.
Carney did not address the issue in his opening remarks, but he did mention Smith by name, as did the chair of the Council of the Federation, Ontario Premier Doug Ford.
And I would also like to thank Premiers Moe, Smith and Fury for attending virtually.
There's a lot of large infrastructure projects that we'd like to discuss, no matter if it's pipelines, as Premier Smith is always mentioning, which I agree, going east, going west, going north, going south.
The focus of this First Ministers' meeting is about advancing projects of national interest and breaking down interprovincial trade barriers, which could add $200 billion to the Canadian economy. This meeting is taking place in Ottawa's War Museum, a fitting location as Canada faces an economic war with its two largest trading partners, including the United States and China. Olivia Stefanovich, CBC News, Ottawa.
And Premier Doug Ford was asked today who he would like to see win the next election and be Prime Minister. Ford said he didn't care about the candidates' political stripes. Instead, he's focusing on their policies.
I want to see how each leader is going to protect Ontario. Are they going to get the Ring of Fire moving forward? Are they going to get out of the way and make sure that we get into the critical minerals? You know, times have changed now. We're in an economic war with the largest country in the world, and we have to get to those critical minerals as quickly as possible, and it can't take 20 years to get those critical minerals out of the ground. It's the largest deposit of critical minerals in the entire world, and we just keep duplicating assessments. So hopefully the federal government will come out and say, yeah, we'll get out of the way, one assessment, one window, and let's move forward.
Would you be prepared then to endorse somebody based on what you hear from the candidates over the course of the campaign about what their plans are on that front?
I just don't believe in interfering in the federal election. That's going to be up to the people to decide. I'll work with anyone.
And as we told you about yesterday, Mark Carney is expected to call a snap federal election on Sunday. And CBC News will have special coverage on Sunday whenever that election call comes. You can join Chief Political Correspondent Rosemary Barton and David Cochran, host of Power and Politics, on CBC Television, CBC News Network, and anywhere you get CBC News online. Well, an Ontario court has given Canada's oldest company permission to liquidate all but 6 of its stores. And the Bay, located at Devonshire Mall here in Windsor, is one of the many that will be closing. The approval allows Hudson's Bay to begin selling off inventory at the bulk of its 80 stores, and that will start on Monday. The retailer also owns 3 Saks Fifth Avenue stores and 13 Saks off Fifth locations in Canada through a licensing agreement. The 6 Bay stores being saved from the liquidation sale include the flagship location on Yonge Street in Toronto, as well as a store in the city's Yorkdale Mall and another at Hillcrest Mall in nearby Richmond Hill. The remaining 3 are in Quebec. Well, there's a simple but colorful treat that's gone viral on social media over the last few months, and it's called the Dubai Strawberry Cup. There are a growing number of cafes and stores in Windsor selling them, as long as they can keep them stocked. The CBC Windsor's Mike Evans went to Aussie Time, a juice bar on Dougal Avenue, to learn what goes into it and to hear how popular it's suddenly become.
My name is Hudson and today we're going to be talking about the Dubai Strawberry Cup. This one came from Dubai, and it was very viral all over the world.
Move over chocolate-covered strawberries, because there is a new creation in town that is...
We're making a Dubai chocolate-covered strawberry sundae.
It tastes so good. Like, the taste of it is really good because it's a perfect mix between the pistachio and the Belgian chocolate. Perfect combination. We have a customer that comes in basically every day for it. This is maybe 70 to 80% of our sales. So we just start with the kunafa, and then we put chocolate, the Belgian chocolate on top, and then we put pistachio on top of it. And then we put the strawberry in there. And then we load it again with the chocolate, pistachio, and more strawberry. And more kunafa. And then we just decorate it with core of the strawberry. There you go. It's done.
Looks delicious. And before we go to commercial break, we have some pretty amazing video to show you. It's a very unlikely duo traveling together in New Zealand. Now, the just released video from the University of Auckland was actually shot in 2023, and it shows an octopus riding on the back of a shark. A research team was monitoring a feeding frenzy when they spotted a strange orange mass on a mako shark's head, but after a closer look, they realized it was a coiled octopus hitching a ride on the huge predator, and of course, the nickname they gave it was Sharktopus. The university calls it one of the strangest things their marine scientists have ever seen. We'll have more news coming up for you right after the break, and then Colette will join us with your full weekend weather forecast a little later in the show. Some communities in northern Saskatchewan are pioneering a new way to deliver healthcare in isolated areas. They're bringing robots into hospitals and clinics. The technology is helping patients get care sooner and avoid costly travel to major cities. As Alexander Silberman shows us, it could be a model for rural regions across the country.
The journey to Saskatchewan's far north is a striking reminder of the sheer isolation, with only the fringe of this region accessible by road. In all its beauty, the remoteness is what draws people to live here and makes it a struggle to see a doctor. But this small hospital in Stony Rapids is now on the front lines of a solution.
Daniel?
Yep.
All right. How are you?
Good.
Daniel Powder is here for an ultrasound,
So have you ever had an ultrasound before?
a screening that would often require a flight south.
I'll let you get situated there.
But today, he can stay in the north.
Then we have Cheryl.
And the ultrasound machine is robotic, controlled by a specialist from Saskatoon through a computer.
Good, you can breathe.
You got results right away.
What's it like to be getting healthcare from someone that you're just seeing like through a screen?
Like, technology is going the wrong ways, and I figured, that was really something.
Hold it in.
This model of remote healthcare is part of Saskatchewan's Virtual Health Hub project. It's using technology to offer remote healthcare to Indigenous and isolated communities, developing robotic devices for everything from x-rays to wound care.
I think this is going to be a game changer for all remote, rural, isolated communities.
Brittany Olson works as a nurse for the Virtual Health Hub. She's the link between the patients she sees in person in First Nations communities and specialists who provide care remotely.
You have quicker diagnosing and treating of the patient's conditions, and it's just overall the health outcome for this person is significantly increased. They're going to Saskatoon to have a little one, or maybe they're sick. They need their support system, so being able to provide care within the community, they could have their support system here.
Like many northern communities, the small airstrip here in Stony Rapids is a vital link to healthcare, but also a barrier to timely access. The hope is that treating patients in their own communities with the help of technology will make care easier to reach, even if the doctors are still hundreds of kilometers away.
Value of this is that you don't increase the work burden on the other side.
In Saskatoon, this office acts as a command center for virtual healthcare, testing new devices like this robot. It lets a doctor virtually into a hospital room, while an in-person assistant can use sensors and devices to gather more information. They're training people in remote communities to fill those roles.
Virtual care will never replace the physicians or the healthcare workers. The future is this hybrid model where in-person care and virtual care will be combined.
Dr. Ivar Mendez leads the Virtual Health Hub. He hopes the remote model will address a disparity, especially in northern Indigenous communities, which have higher rates of mortality, tuberculosis, and high blood pressure.
I really believe that technology can narrow this gap of inequity in the delivery of healthcare, not only in Saskatchewan, in Canada, but globally.
The next step is the opening of a new virtual health hub next year in Whitecap, Dakota Nation.
The communications.
Mendez envisions the hybrid care model, combining technology and doctors as the future of healthcare. He expects the model pioneered in the north will soon expand to other provinces, easing staffing shortages in cities and remote areas, and saving lives.
A little more to the staff.
Alexander Silberman, CBC News, Stony Rapids.
Do you have a story or an idea or something you'd like us to cover? Well, we want to hear from you. You can reach us by text at 519-984-2051 or email us at windsor@cbc.ca. Colette Kennedy joins us live for our look at this Friday weather as we head into the weekend. Colette, it's Friday. We've made it.
We've made it. Friday.
Yay.
Here we go. Go ahead.
Colette, are probably asking about golf. When we can start golfing. You know, we got a little tease a couple days ago, but it didn't quite stick around.
Yeah, I don't think any courses are opening. Well, I'd be surprised because this weekend we're kind of going in the other direction in terms of things cooling down. So we all have to hold our horses on that a little bit, and that weather will get here. Not bad today, certainly this afternoon. I mean, once things got going, it was -4 this morning, but then up to 11 degrees, holding there now at Chatham-Kent, at 7, and 10 degrees for those of you watching us from Sarnia. Also those stronger southwesterly winds, so that will help to push that temperature up, even though it was a little sluggish in the morning hours. But winds are going to really be playing a part of the, the story of our forecast here over the next 24 hours, especially because some of the wind gusts are already a little stronger out of the southwest ahead of this system coming in, gusting over 50 kilometers an hour, so a little blustery into the evening hours. And this is a system just back to the west and northwest of us, seeing some of that cloud cover that's riding in. It's quiet and dry for now. The sun doesn't set till 7:45, so still some time to enjoy. But then as we'll roll this forward for you, and you can see we start to get into some showers in the overnight hours, closer to midnight and thereafter late. And then another batch will come through towards tomorrow morning. So early part of the morning tomorrow could be a little bit wet, not only with some rain showers, but maybe the odd wet flurry possible too, because behind this system, the winds will change to the west and the northwest, and the temperatures will actually be falling pretty rapidly through the day. So it's milder tomorrow morning than it will be tomorrow afternoon. We'll get into some clearer conditions as the day wears on. Sunday will start off clearer, and then we're going to bookend the weekend. You won't be golfing in this with another system coming through. Again, mostly this will be rain showers in southwestern Ontario, but there could be just a little bit of a mix there. A better chance actually with that one because of the colder air in place. Some of those strong winds coming in overnight tonight and even through the day tomorrow, really driving that temperature back down again. So although it will be mild in the early morning hours, don't get used to that. And if you're heading out for the whole day, make sure you've got warmer stuff for later in the day when it falls to -2. And then we still have that trio of 7s coming our way with that wet weather Sunday night into Monday morning.
All right. Thanks so much, Colette. Have a great weekend.
You as well.
And that's it for us here at CBC News. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you back here on Monday.